Good morning, and it's Art Online with Hazel Jarvis, and today we're going to be doing a simple garden sketch. We're going to work from this photo, which looks hideously complicated, but we're just going to break it down into simple shapes and approach it the same way we did with our step-by-step project. So first of all, we are going to start with our thumbnails, we're going to do our color notes, and we're going to think about simple shapes and lights and darks, and we're going to ask ourselves why we want to paint this particular picture. And for me, it's this gorgeous splash of color with the dahlias and the contrast with this it looks like Jack and the Beanstalk, but it's actually some sunflowers. And I unfortunately chopped the head off, but you can keep the head on if you wish. So you're going to start first of all with a very simple pencil sketch. And I would keep it much, much lighter than this. I've done it much darker so you can actually see. And this is all that I would draw in, just the little garden hut. So I'm going to work with one of our favorite museum brushes. This is new, it's got a nice new point, and we're going to get started right away. You've got your paints, you've got your paper, you've got paper towel, you should be good to go. So the first thing I want to do is mix a little bit of the yellow and the green to get a nice bright green, and I'm going to draw in my sunflower. So couple of long strokes like this, and then we're going to add in some leaves. And when I'm putting the leaves on, I'm going to press down with my brush and sort of roll the brush over and pull it down just like that, and press down and pull it down so that I get some nice fat heart-shaped leaves, and I like them to cross the stem, and you can have lighter and darker ones, and just put them on at slightly different angles and keep that paint nice and wet. And we'll just finish with a couple at the top. So at the top, they're going to be just a little bit smaller. So here is my sunflower. And it's pretty wet, so we're going to paint the little hut next so that we don't have to touch the wet leaves. So we take our burnt sienna, and it goes light on the front, and then the side of the hut is going to be darker. So in goes our burnt sienna very quickly. And I'm going to mix it with a tiny bit of indigo so it's a little darker on the side. And as I say, you will probably lighten your pencil lines before you start painting. So these are the first two things that you are going to do. Next, I like to put in the sky. So I mix up some 61, my periwinkle, with 64, which is my lovely French ultramarine. And this is my favorite sky color. And I'm just going to wash in the sky very quickly. And you can keep it light or you can make it a little darker, up to you. So the sky goes in. And then I'm going to paint basically around very loosely my sunflower. And for a garden sketch, I like these vignetted edges, but if you want a nice straight edge, you can always tape the edge of your paper with masking tape. And if the green blends with the sky, that's okay. But just try and paint around and in between. So that you get something just like this. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint the dahlias. I'm going to take a lovely number 32 orange for those beautiful dahlias. And in they go at the front. And I start at the center and I just pull out some color to get those spiky petals. And you can vary the color a little bit by pulling in some pink. And I'm going to put in some more dahlias with number 43. And then I want to add these lovely pink ones that you can see just right here. So I go to 35 for the pink. And it's a nice bright pink. And it comes in like that. And then lastly, for this first part, I'm going to take a little bit of blue and I'm just going to spatter it on for the forget-me-nots in front. So you have essentially this. This is very wet at this point, so you'll have to set it aside and either load up the laundry, check your email, or whatever else you do. But I am going to go over here, and this is the same painting, just a little bit more developed. So I put in some more of the forget-me-nots. And then I'm going to put in the dark of the bushes behind, and this will be an opportunity to really define the shape of that little hut. And I go pretty dark with that color. And because it's dry, you can go in between some of the leaves of your sunflower. So here comes that dark color going in. And it looks like this. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add some foliage in the front. And what you want to do at this point is just get some different brush marks in. So you want some long, thin ones. And you want some that basically just mount in front and are flat. So essentially, I like to have the brightest color in the foreground, and as we go back, we go a little darker. And I'm painting a little bit faster than I would do normally, but hopefully you can see how the painting is starting to come. I fill in. going to just go around the door. And because this is a French painting, I'm going to give green shutters to the windows. At this point, again, it's pretty wet, so I would finish off at the very end, just like this, by going back into my wet shapes and adding more detail and more texture. So that means just going back in with a couple more strokes or a darker shape and painting around some leaves. Again, just varying the direction of your strokes and varying the size of them. So this is your final, and I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see what you do. Thank you so much.